Australia have won the game by 172 runs, so everyone gets a relatively early tea time for those playing the sport. Nathan Lyon takes 10, Cameron Green's the man of the match. New Zealand drop heaps of catches and they bowled poorly and they probably picked the wrong team. But fundamentally, Australia just have better players, Pezza, and they've won the game by 172 runs. Thoughts on that?
My favourite bit was BJ saying after the game that at least you got closer this time, New Zealand.
Fucking hell.
There were people in Australia who thought New Zealand might be able to do something today.
Yep.
Ravindra and Daryl Mitchell had looked set last night in their own specific ways. But instead, New Zealand collapsed. And not only did they collapsed feebly.
And in a heap?
Yes.
Yeah, it was a heap.
I've just had to think about that for a second.
Right, okay.
But it was, essentially. Australia secure a 2:30 p.m. tea time.
Yeah.
I wonder whether New Zealand themselves were looking for a tea time.
Yep.
Such was the feeble nature of the collapse.
Right.
I wonder if there's an agreement between test teams these days as games kind of sort of you think would edge or inch towards their denouement. Instead, they just, slide rapidly.
Yeah. There was one of the games against in India, England, when who was it? It was Siraj and Bumrah.
Yeah,
getting a little bit close. Maybe they're like, nah, fuck it.
See you later.
Yeah,
and I think
I don't need to come back to the ground tomorrow.
I can only presume the Indian team enjoys playing golf. So.
Okay, Pezza, let's have a look at the scorecard for the final innings of the game. Let's just do that. So it started, New Zealand were 3 down, and then Ravindra finishes 59. We'll talk about how he got out in a second. Daryl Mitchell, 38. Then Blundell dismissed in a very similar way to his first innings for a duck. Glenn Phillips got his little slider from line around the wicket, LBW 1. Kugelheim did some stuff, I suppose. So did Matt Henry. Tim Southey went the tonk, so to speak, to use some 1990s lexicon before. Who was last man out? It was
Daz.
Daz was last man out, caught and bowl, wasn't he, from Hazelwood. Let's have a look at the bowling scorecard, though, Pezza. 6 for 65 for Nathan Lyon. That means he's taken 10 for the game. 2 for Hazelwood. 1 each for Head and Cam Green. Nothing for Stark or Cummins. Interesting. Time to get Nisa in. Okay, I
would have thought so. Well, they're in the gun now.
Yeah, and Cam Bancroft as well for me. Unnecessary once again, as is often the case on this show. So Australia win the game by 172 runs. But should we talk about Nathan Lyon?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about Nathan Lyon taking 10 for. And I think one of his best achievements last night, now not many people pick this up, but he actually went whack onto Glenn Phillips, who when he was asked about Glenn Phillips taking his fifer, his first test match fifer, he said, you know what, he's actually New Zealand's Marnus. And I was thinking, whoa, okay, that seems completely unnecessary. The guy's just taken 5 wickets. Why are you calling him New Zealand Marnus? I mean, that's a massive sledge. Massive sledge. Why'd you have to do that? Harsh. But he's had a great test, Lion, on and off the field.
I guess you take 10 for and you can do what you like. He's doing it ahead of the 10 for, but if Lyon didn't take 5 on that deck in the second innings, questions would have been asked. But this is the thing about Nathan Lyon, like that conversation that went for a long time about his capacity to bowl teams out in the 4th innings looks long in the rearview mirror now, doesn't it? He turns up today and Rachin Ravindra and Daryl Mitchell are the 2 guys standing between Australia and victory, and they were the 2 guys that if something special was going to happen, it was going to be them doing the bulk of it. And I really liked the way that he got Rachin Ravindra out, because commentators were cooing over the lightness and quickness of feet of Rachin Ravindra. He had this propensity to give himself a lot of room to show all 3 stumps, to cut square through the offside off Nathan Lyon. And you know what? Through his innings where he did look excellent, he was successful with that cut shot. But it just goes to show how good Test cricket is. Like Lyon was happy to give him that. Lyon mentions last night, and it is true, particularly on this deck, that bounce is his strength. It's his superpower, right? So he was basically willing to give Rachin Ravindra that shot and say, if you want to keep doing that, fucking good luck, championship.
Good, brother.
And the ball was on the, it was the shorter side of a good length, but not by much. And Ravindra took it. Lyon said good luck, and finally, he failed because there's, with the amount of inconsistent bounce that Lyon was able to generate, he didn't middle one, go straight to the greatest buckets we've probably ever seen in Test cricket, and and see you later, and then the damn walls broke. That was the partnership. Blundell, bat pad straight away. Packham, commentators, as with Williamson, commentated by saying, "Oh no,
oh no,"
and then you think, oh gee, Darryl Mitchell and Glenn Phillips, that could be dangerous. No, not really. Lyon gets Phillips, as Scotty Stevenson said, upon Lyon getting that wicket, that's 24 bags for Nathan Lyon. Before going on to clarify that referred to a 5-wicket haul.
Don't worry about golf.
Yeah, I don't know what's occurring in Wellington, but everyone parties their own way.
I think you're so right about the quality of Test cricket, where Ravindra executed that cut shot yesterday so well, and you can see that it's a strength of his. And Australia are just like, mate, keep doing it. And we will get you out. And they've set a field specifically for him to get out to that shot, and it's happened. And if you're the fielding team, and you hear Marnus celebration as well, which. If I'm an opposition fan, I'm like, oh, I can't cop this bloke, in the field. Even if you're an Australian fan sometimes. But the celebration's laughing because it's like...
Australian player.
Sorry. yeah, he's like teammates. Marnus even. I
can't cop myself.
Can't cop myself. Sorry, boys. Red card. I have to red card myself. He's got out in exactly the way that the entire game has been set up for in that moment, and it's high skill from everyone, including Ravindra, who plays his part, I suppose. We were talking yesterday, Pez. I think it might have been off air, but we were just talking about how it feels like the entire summer, maybe even part of the Ashes as well, that heaps of the Australian guys are either out of form or there's been a bit of a drop off since whatever their peak was, and Cummins and Lyon are two guys that are in their peak. I mean, Cummins had an awesome Australian summer. He captained well during the Ashes, and I suppose he was doing okay in India, albeit in tough circumstances. But he is in his bowling peak. I don't think I've seen him bowl better for Australia in the last little while. So that's there. And Lyon, even after 500 whatever wickets, he's actually bowling better than I've ever seen him bowl. I think we've said that in the show before. And with those two guys, they seem to be just like... It feels very cocks out, just like someone will do something. We've got two guys in the team that are in their best ever moment in their career. Cameron Green, we'll talk about in a second. He obviously is man of the match, rightfully so in my opinion. But those two guys are seemingly keeping the whole thing together at the moment. But Australia just have better players in this game. But with Lyon taking 6, Cummins, it doesn't even have a fantastic game, but just generally speaking, he has won games for Australia throughout the last few. You know what I mean? So,
New Zealand, they're all out 174 first innings, 190 odd in this one.
179, 196.
Right. Yeah. And so the bowlers have just gone to work again. They've turned them over, gone to work. Yeah, Lyon and Cummins. Cummins not this particular test, but they're probably at ultra peak at the moment. I mean, who knows with Nathan Lyon? He's getting better every year. But he might not have reached his peak yet. He might be just beginning in terms of him being at the absolute peak of his powers.
Yeah.
But it feels like this Australian side is very much like bowlers are unbelievable, indomitable in all conditions, mostly all conditions, and hopefully 1 or 1.5 batters can do something.
Yeah,
and that's been enough for the team. And it speaks to the quality of the bowlers. They're still getting the job done, even though the batters are letting them down. And I'll tell you what, with Nathan Lyon today, you don't see it very often. You don't see basically a white guy bowling to another white guy on a ragger, and you're like, oh, finally. Lyon's just thinking I can have a crack at an Anglo guy, not a final boss, wristy supremo against spin bowling, although the wicket is good. It's impossibly soft hands that are so used to it. He's just bowling to other white guys who are like, see you later.
There are so many clubs across this country that are sponsored by Wristy Supremo as well.
Oh, yeah, mate. Yeah. Well, what a franchise that was. Wristy Supremo.
It was a franchise. They started franchising them. Popping up all over the country. I tell you what is popping up all over the country. Pezza, Smith Optics, smithopticsaustralia.com. Use the code FAST at checkout for 25% off your order. Now, people might be watching this show right now and they're thinking, well, has Higgins been cutting around in these all night? And I've got to say, I wish I was. I wish I had been. Me Old Miso Soup was at a Hens last night, which I was not invited to. Actually, I was invited to it later and I had no interest in it. But
really? What was the politics around that?
Well, so what?
I just mean in vis-a-vis a XY chromosome going to a Hens party.
So I'll explain that. So Hens and Bucks was on at the same night, different locations, and then they all got together later.
Yeah, okay. So which is not that's known, right?
Yeah. And so I was invited to the get together later bit, but it's like at that point, it's like, well, I mean, I'm not playing catch up, am I? No, I'm not playing catch up.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I feel like I've missed out on something. So I've worn these in the morning with a bucket hat and some golf merch and merch as well. That's how I talk.
Speaking of early tea times.
Yeah, exactly. Just out there trying to live my life in New Zealand, just collapse in a heap. Thanks very much, New Zealand. I got to tell you, if I walked in last night to the Hens-Bucks merger, people would be thinking, hell yeah.
People will be thinking, how much? How much to Liam Gallagher?
SmithOpticAustralia.com. I've got the Verts on today. Are these Wildcats? I should know. Should have done my research. Verts Wildcats all in the field sports range. There we go. Okay, let's talk about Cameron Green. Australia win the game by 172 runs. Cameron Green hits 174 red. It's only taken 3 games for him to show that he's one of the best 6 batters in the country, and he's finally got to bat in his preferred position in number 4. It's probably not as simple as that, but he is easily one of the best 6 batters in the country. Had he played more shield and batted in his best position, he would probably exhibit that more often. I even saw people of note, who I'm not going to name, saying like, yeah, I still think he's number 6. I mean, this is kind of the great thing about Australian cricket, that like we punish our own successes. Like, it's like, yeah, it's good, but I like him somewhere else for my own benefit.
Oh, I'm uncomfortable unless it's perfect. Like the entire team. I mean, I'm on threads with my uncles. They want 2 changes after this test.
That's awesome.
And
that's awesome.
It's irrational and insulting.
Yeah, that's why we win fucking World Cups though.
Deeply irritating, but on some level I kind of like it.
I respect it a bit.
Yeah.
I kind of respect it. Yeah, fair enough.
And like, not to mention the 2 guys that won this particular game, Lyon and Green, were the 2 guys they wanted gone last time.
Of course. Yeah.
It isn't like the 2 guys who've done well are again like another I guess piece of evidence that it if you do like stick with guys, they do repay you. Yeah. Rather than just starting a new guy and then having to invest in that.
It's helped enormously that the team keeps winning, and that's
totally.
That's obviously going to be Marnus's thing as well, because Marnus's drop-off has been well noted, but like the team keeps winning.
Exactly.
And when guys, Travis Head had a form start for a long time. Travis Head actually got himself out of the side for a bit, but when the team is winning, they're going to stick with the guys that they really believe in, and it allows them to grow into their own careers and give you moments of enormous success. Anyway, Cameron Green.
It's another reason why the batters should be, buying drinks for the bowlers as well. The bowlers are bailing them out deluxe.
They have played on some difficult batting wickets, I would say. It's like the opposition is scoring big hundreds as well. In fact,
that's so true as well.
Yeah. No, I mean, no opposition batter has scored 100 against Australia probably since the Ashes. They'd be right. No one this summer scored 100. Except for Warner in the entire summer. Is that right? I don't know. I can't remember anything that happened. Anyway,
I don't know. I don't have a clue.
One thing going for Cameron Green here. Now, obviously, it doesn't happen unless it happens in Australia. But the closest thing we're ever going to get to that is New Zealand, because unfortunately for Western Australia, the game started at 6 a.m., which is just an insane time to watch sport, apparently. Seen a lot of people like, no, it's no good. Fucking hell, they're so lucky over there. Anyway, but this is as close to a prime time home game 100 as you're ever going to get for an away series. So Cameron Green has done it sort of in front of us. Like this is watchable time cricket for Australians. So he has done it. It's a lot of cachet.
And even the second innings as well, where Australia were batting sloppily, and Green contributed some important runs there. I mean, God, we've been waiting, haven't we? Like, we've been waiting for Cam Green to do a Cam Green thing.
Yep.
Well, and all the while he's, been this little Bambi on ice where we've gone, how long does this guy need?
Fucking hell.
He hits 100 and now he's got a better batting average than Keith Miller and Ben Stokes. So even while this
fucking gun barrel the ball,
right. This little fucking baby giraffe was struggling in our eyes. It still wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now he hits his 174. It's like, oh, gee, saved his career with that one. All of a sudden, he's walking off the field pincering a stump that he's taken. It looks like is that a bail or a stump in his hands? And we're feeling good, just in the nick of time, because we're about to drop Steve Smith and Marnus Labuschagne.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So, I mean,
he's using a stump to pick things out of his teeth.
The thing is, because Australia's played 18 months of cricket on the bounce,
right? And
now they get 10 months off Test cricket before the next one. The whole team is going to stay the team unless somebody decides to retire.
Right.
So questions about whether Green or Marnus needed to perform in this series are a bit moot. They're going to be the guys who I think will be the incumbents unless there's injury or something sort of bizarre happens before that India Test series. Yeah. Even so, Cameron Green, like, it's very, very helpful, I think, in terms of just letting this guy settle down and go, okay, the spot's yours now. You've done something now. Like, you've basically, you've won a game with the bat for Australia, like, which is all you've got to do occasionally. Like, you do. You have, like, Travis Head, credits in the, like, how much credit does he have?
Match winner.
Like he's going to frustrate the shit out of us for the next couple of years because of the way he plays. I say that with him right over your shoulder looking at me, giving Wiggles fingers. But but the credit he's got is incredible. Like, and for Green, this is just like, I don't know, he's at zero. He owes nothing for a long time because he's done this. And people can see with the way Cameron Green bats and the way that he squints his face and the way that he brings the wooden frame to the crease, that, like, there's the head shave neck tattoo episode he needs to go through in order just to fully actualize into the beast that it can become, and it will be. Everyone can see it, and now we've just had a little glimpse, and I'm very much here.
Mate, what about you? Just look at, like, if you didn't watch a single ball of this game, you just turn up. Australia hits 383 in the first innings. The next three innings are 179, 164, 196, and this guy's hit 174 of 275, 23 fours, 5 sixes, hitting him at 63.
Who's this?
It's like, okay, what is that? It's computer game numbers stuff, And, like, I mean, people are so frustrated by continually hearing about the potential because he hasn't done it in front of our eyes, And this is as close as you're going to get to doing it in front of our eyes. I mean, he's literally enormously won the game by almost exactly the winning margin.
Just as you start to squint a little bit when you see, Khawaja fails to make a 50 in the game. Two, helpful enough innings in a lowish scoring match. Yeah. The age being that he is, Steve Smith adjusting to opening the batting. Are the eyes painted on a little bit? Does he play that shot or does he miss that ball if he's a little bit younger? Like Mitch Marsh has come in at 6. In the last couple of months, it's not particularly set there in the way that a generational player would be. Yeah. And you're starting to squint. Alex Carey's under pressure now. Alex Malcolm writes overnight. His average drops below 30. He keeps getting out, trying to play the same method. Sometimes in situations it doesn't work, and you're squinting and you're going like, is there a little cliff coming here for the Australian team, particularly with the bowlers getting older? So, just in the nick of time, Cam Green, 24, wins the game off the bat, 174, red, player of the match. Comes on to bowl, just to confirm that player of the match, by the way, just by bumping blokes and then and getting a pole himself and pincering the stump as he walks off. And we're like, okay, we're going to be okay for a couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any doubt that the drop-off is going to come. I mean...
How can it not?
I mean, the team is, it averages 85 years old.
I've still got Bancroft to come in.
That's true. Who's 30... 33. Anyway, but I'm not ready to say goodbye to the good years, and to be fair, I never will be.
These are the good years right now.
These are happening right now. These are some of the best years.
We're calling for mass changes.
I'm 37, and this is the second best team I've ever seen in my life. It's won everything.
And it was 6.5 out of 10 in this test, and I'm still not that happy. It's won by 172 runs with an up and down inconsistent performance where we're questioning the relentlessness of the batting unit.
What about New Zealand allowing Josh Hazlewood to have his longest ever test innings, dropping Nathan Lyon last night, him then scoring 41? They dropped other catches. They dropped 4 or 5 catches throughout the innings.
That's Kiwi stuff. That's just what it is.
Kane Williamson scores 0 and 9. Ravindra scores 0 and 50. It's just Australians have better players.
That's what they do,
isn't that what it is?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't. I heard a lot of the commentators suggest afterwards, like, if it wasn't for that Cam Green Josh Hazlewood partnership, it's like, we just found another way to beat you by 170 runs. I believe. Yeah. And also it did happen. Yeah. Why is that allowed to be erased? If Ratch and Ravindra doesn't hit 50, we win by 250. It's just the dumbest maths that these people do. You just let that thing happen. But it happened.
Are you in any way slightly annoyed, arrogantly, as an Australian cricket fan, that the winning margin's 172 when the potential of winning that game by a sort of 280 was there? Do you need that in your life?
I I wouldn't regard it as a need, so that makes it even worse. No, it'd be nice. But what would it be nice? Yeah, like, I'd like to see this current Aussie team just show that gear as well, of like probably the old school ruthlessness. Like I'd like to see them get so far ahead and then put spikes onto the throat of the opposition unrelentingly.
Right.
But I don't feel like they play that way, these guys. I think they're more like, can we dangle a carrot to get an early tea time? Like, whereas I think Steve Waugh and his team were sickos. Like, they'll let a game go for 5 days to just grind teams into the dirt, amass records, build the mythology of the baggy green. Yeah. When they got bored later, that's when he started winning the toss and bowling to get out of there early, bring Brett Lee into the side, have a look at something in the tubs and some wheels because we're bored. I understand that. Getting tired of winning the old way. That's a bit of a difference. I think this team is a little bit more like worldly and tea time focused.
Yeah, okay. Interesting.
Isn't it?
Should we talk about the third thing and moving on to Christchurch?
Yeah.
I think New Zealand not picking Santner in this game turned out to be the wrong decision, given that spin was such a huge factor.
Southey said that as well. Like, they asked him straight up. He's like, yeah, no, I didn't know what it'd spin.
Oh, fair. You know what? I rate that.
Yeah, me too.
Rate it.
Apparently, I was listening to SCN, Jeremy Cohn. Again, great commentary team, those guys. But he was saying that there is no history at Basin Reserve of spin, of the deck taking spin. Really?
I kept hearing that New Zealand were in the game last when Australia were collapsing in their third innings because it was going to get windy later, and that's going to be half of the bowlers.
Yeah, that's when you...
Fuck me dead.
Yeah.
Fuck me dead.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Imagine...
How many New Zealand wickets fell to the soundtrack of a commentator saying, oh no? I mean, I really enjoyed the commentary of this, and I don't think I'm saying that sarcastically. Like, I don't need that test at this time with coffee and a croissant at 9 a.m. in the morning. Yeah. I don't need like high level, high concept NASA, ATHA's, intelligentsia analysis of the game. I need Kiwi stuff. I need Kiwi 8 years. We're still dishing up this shit, and I need Haddon and BJ. Like, whoever arranged that is a genius. Like that was pure. Yeah, well, true. Can we get June over?
But I say
that was pure TV. Yeah,
TV, dinner parties.
That's right. You chuck June into any scenario that involves discourse, and I'm happy with it.
Sometimes I'm waiting in line at an ATM, and I think, what would make this even better? Mark Waugh was in front of me, punching some digits.
What about back in the day when they were just starting to get the tech going for GPS systems? Like, you can get Ray Warren doing it for you. What about June, mate, left here?
Yeah.
Oh, you've missed that. How good would that be? I've only missed 2 in my life. Oh, June. Love it.
Slow down if you want to.
Also see you in Christchurch, as in literally, we will see you in Christchurch.
That's right.
We're playing Moi Moi Bar. I believe that's how you say it.
Okay.
On Thursday night, the 7th of March. And
you can't get tickets because
you can't get tickets sold out. But just letting you know. And then we're into the first 2 days of the test, just turning up. We've got to do some dailies at the end of the day's play. But I plan on being out there in the outer. Just chilling.
Yeah. You're going to wear an AFL Guernsey and Aussie flag and CA merch and Smith Optics and...
I hadn't considered that, and the answer is most likely no. I'll leave that.
Most likely. The door's ajar.
Well, see, that's more of a business issue, because then I'd be getting into... because if you do wear, and we have said this before, we are inviting people, if you do wear an Aussie Rules Guernsey, Cricket Australia merchandise hat, and that goes all the way back to even the ACB era, and a comically large Australian flag with your NRL team or club cricket team, liquid papered or written onto the...
or using twink.
As they say in New Zealand.
Yes.
Then we'll pay your subs. So if I do that, I'm just working with funny money now. I'm starting to pay myself for things, and I worry about auditors on that front. Right. What's this expense? Well, I was doing this.
Well, do you know what twink is in New Zealand? It's got nothing to do with Mardi Gras in Australia.
Yeah. Happy Mardi Gras, by the way.
Two. Yeah. Hashtag AskTGC.
Yeah. Okay. This is from. I can't even read. Oh, you got it up. Have you got it up there, CV?
Can you?
What kind of wicket do you reckon New Zealand will go for in the next match? A turner, as I have always found Kiwi Ravindra Jadeja in Glenn Phillips, and Oz struggles batting against spin, or a flat batting paradise wicket as Oz's top 6 struggles against batting. So if New Zealand had the chance to curate and create a shit tip or otherwise to give themselves an advantage, what kind of deck do you think they should be putting together?
Oh, a graveyard. It's where skeletons operate best.
Yeah, indeed.
There we go.
Indeed. I mean,
wordplay there for you.
You got to, I don't know, like Nathan Lyon being at his peak means good luck if you want to bring a ragger. Like white on white spin stuff. It's fucking that Nathan. That's what
twink
Nathan.
On twink.
Mate, twink on twink. No, Anglo on Anglo raggers.
Yeah.
See, I'd love to see that. I'd love to see Australia, England, New Zealand go over to Chinnaswamy and let's see who let's see who can come out best.
Fun,
you know what I'm saying?
That's kind of fun.
Yeah. Anyway,
a lot of Indians would be keen to get the Ashes in India. It felt like.
So I don't know if you want to, come up with a ragger.
Do we know the damage to Will O'Rourke?
No.
So selection issue potentially there because he walked up with a string.
I would not be selecting Scott Kugelheim for the next test. For several reasons.
Yeah. Well, least of all because his contribution to the game was odd. His contribution was probably 26 today. Was probably the greatest contribution. Dropped catches, bowled 3 overs in the third innings of the game. Didn't really look like troubling in the first innings either. But but I mean, if O'Rourke is out, Kugelheim is probably then replaces O'Rourke and then
you just probably dust it up a bit and give Santner and Glenn Phillips a shot, and ride your luck.
Yeah.
See how you go.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, that presumes that you can do things like that when a test starts in like 4 days.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. Well, I've got a fair idea how pitches work, and I'm pretty happy to comment about how those things work as well. So.
There was an extra AskTGC. I don't know if you've seen this. This is from the Bank Channel TV. So this is from the Bank Channel. Hashtag AskTGC. Has Higgins ever missed arm day? Followed by MYIC90. Ian Higgins. The comment was Ian Higgins. So just under the hood here, like it was my turn to curate today. So I've chosen that. You haven't brought the AskTGC, which is a question to you about your arms.
Should we talk about this?
For the viewers out there, it would be a little bit high interest question. Have you ever missed arm day?
Sometimes I train lower arms. Those are legs. But you can never miss arm day, ever. If you play club cricket, or if you've ever played club cricket, and you're fucking around with any other body part other than arms, then what are you doing? Because the goal should always be to wear a medium-sized polo, playing shirt, and to look good in a singlet. And so if you can get your arms disproportionately big to the rest of your body, you're going to get yourself into some sort of pinch hitting positions. You're going to get yourself into T20 sides. When was the last time a pinch hitter was used in any game of cricket? It's an old reference.
Did you have disproportionately big arms as a player?
No, I don't think so.
I was just wondering if you felt like your body allowed you to go a grade higher than your ability might have permitted, on account of it being one of the unwritten rules or ways you can climb the grades.
I think my performances were so bad that I couldn't offset in any other capacity. Yeah. So,
but it is about looking good in a singlet at training.
100%.
Right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I've gone the other way today, obviously, because it's kind of cold in Melbourne today.
But you also want to let people know there's something happening underneath there, and they're not going to see it just now. Keep tuning in. Yeah. You'll occasionally show it.
Yeah.
I've got to say the wide shot. CB, can you give us the wide shot there? Yeah. Yesterday, the first one was on. I got zero. I got nothing to show. But on a wide shot, it's not. There's something. Would you agree with that? So you could really kill me here. And yesterday I just showed, I saw him. I'm like, I'm not looking too bad. Then it panned into you and I was like, fuck me. No, it really did. And I'm like, his arms are bigger than his head.
It's just the lens of the wide shot, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. That's something for the eyes. So other men can comment on the internet. I remember, am I saying this?
I can't believe I just did that.
Am I saying this out loud? Am I?
Yeah, You've come this far. You can see it's actually a rule socially that once you signal that something's about to be said, you cannot withdraw.
I remember a few years ago I was doing an event at a cricket club.
Oh no.
And this was probably 2019 or something. And
TGC hired event.
TGC hired event. Yeah. Okay. And the guy who like got us there around the night, he was like, "You guys getting any pussy from this?"
from this.
from the great cricketer.
I don't think you've ever told me that.
Oh, okay, yeah. And I was like, not really.
From this. Are you serious? I wonder what he meant, like, as in... like,
Mate, I had to pull up the analytics straight away.
Yeah,
Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
From who?
Do you think he meant, like, any sexual attainment, or do you think he just meant, like, that was a highly, like, you know, inappropriate word just to describe, has any woman ever watched your work?
I think probably a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. Yeah.
Are there any women associated with your work?
Do people see the success of you sitting in a bucket hat wearing enormous sunglasses at 11 o'clock on a Sunday morning and think, I'll have me a slice of that, please.
Exactly. If anything, less than...
Mate, you've got no idea how much this cost me. Me and Margot Robbie had a thing for a bit. She saw this, got out of here.
So you do a cricket podcast? Oh, please. Come over at once.
Sydney Sweeney and I were so close.
Oh, Sydney Sweeney. Good actor.
Well, what a wonderful way to finish off this test match. It's been a fun 3 and a bit days. It's been nice for us to focus on this little corner of the world that Australia and New Zealand occupy for this moment in time. I hope you've enjoyed our stuff over the last 4 days of coverage.
We'll be in Christchurch.
Back in Christchurch. We are in Christchurch for the second test match. Join us on Patreon for #AskTGC Fridays and so much more. And we're back with the main podcast, our main work tomorrow. Out on all platforms. So have a wonderful rest of your Sunday afternoon or whatever time you're watching this, and we'll see you guys on the internet tomorrow. Cheers.